Hey guys, just checking in. Had a lot on my mind last few days, like everybody else. What's going on in the country and the fucking world? Just a lot of thoughts I want to get out, and this is just the best way I can figure out to get them. It's gonna be kind of incomplete, and I definitely plan on doing like a live at some point to talk with you guys to get your perspective on what's going on. But first and foremost, I want to issue my condolences to the family of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, so many others to name, which is the problem. Rest in peace to them. We're definitely not going to let their passing go in vain. We definitely are going to do everything we can in our power to make sure that this does not happen to other people, to our people, continue to happen to our people. Seen a lot going on right now with people. Everybody's showing their true colors, good, bad, or indifferent. The main thing people need to realize is this is not a civil rights issue. This is not a black or white issue. This is a human issue, a human rights issue. We're fighting for the right for us to be treated and viewed as human beings, for the reason to be able to breathe without fear, to be able to breathe without hesitation. It's not black versus white. It's not black versus blue. It's not black versus everybody. It's us. It's good versus evil, right versus wrong. It's us versus racist. And at this point, with this type of issue, there is no in between. There is no, yeah, I mean, it's wrong, but do you have to protest that way, or do you have to loot? Do you have to riot? No, it's you're an ally or you're an enemy. That's it. So pick a side and choose wisely. The reason, for anyone that's confused about what's going on, which I don't know why you should be confused after you've seen all these videos, is what you're seeing is 400 years of suppression and oppression and repression. You're seeing the result of 400 years of us pretending to be okay. You're seeing the result of 400 years of us sitting next to you as your classmates, as your co-workers, as your teachers or students, fellow lawyers, fellow doctors, going through things that people not of our community would never understand, and quite frankly, a lot of them don't seem to want to understand, and that's where the frustration comes into play. Because we've tried to ask nicely, we've tried to go about it the right way. You know, people keep saying, "Oh, what would Martin Luther King say? What would Martin Luther King do? He wouldn't want you to do this, that, and the third." We don't know what he'd want us to do because he's not here, because they killed him. We don't know what Malcolm wanted us to do because he's not here, because they killed him. They were both nonviolent. They were both militant in their own ways, and they both got the same end. So does it really matter? Is it your preference of the message, or you just not wanting to hear a message, period? Because the people that keep saying what Martin Luther King do, he spoke about how he felt about a lot of the opinions that are going on, that have been coming out today from people. For example, Drew Brees. He spoke about that. He said, my worst fear and the worst enemy of this movement is the moderate white. Not moderate politically, moderate socially, meaning those who maybe not be racist, but are not willing to call other races to the carpet, other people that are racist to the carpet, not willing to hold them accountable, not willing to explicitly state and acknowledge the issue. They're just kind of letting it pass by. All it takes is for evil to survive is for good men to do nothing. And that's the problem. And that's the issue with what's going on here. We have a lot of people, if you've seen a lot of people of color, black, white, Hispanic, Latino, other white people, black people, disappointed in certain people, white people mainly, is because you claim to be our friends. You sit next to us every day at work. You sit next to us every day in school. You sit next to us every day in class, and you haven't said anything. And this is not an issue of are you qualified or are you not qualified. The only wrong way to go about this is to do nothing at this point in time. If you want to speak. I mean, everybody has their role in this movement, but there's petitions you can sign, there's donations you can make, educate yourself. There's a lot of great books out there. White Fragility by Michael Eric Dyson. There's just a ton of material out there that you can go look and read and look up. A lot of YouTube videos. You should definitely check out Jane Elliott, The Blue Eye versus Brown Eyed Experiment. That's a really interesting delve into the psyche of discrimination and what happens when you're placed in that. If you've never experienced that before, you should definitely check that out. Obviously there's so many opinions and so many different angles that this issue takes on, because it's not even just police brutality, it's systematic racism and institutional racism. And that's the problem. It's not just one or two bad police officers. It's however many bad police officers there are doing bad things to good people for no reason. Them committing murder. That's what it is. It's murder. Cold-blooded murder for no reason. And then it's the good officers seeing these police officers and either helping them becoming bad police officers or not doing anything, which makes you just as bad. And then there's the blue wall of silence, where they all, they see but they don't speak on what's going on. And then you have the politicians who are afraid of the police force, who will not hold them accountable. And then of course you have the law system, judges, lawyers, DAs, who never seem to find a way to convict any of them for the murders, even though we have videos, we have recordings, we have testimonies, we have eyewitness accounts. Nothing seems to work for some reason, and that's where the frustration comes into play. That's why everything that is happening right now is completely predictable. If you talk to any black person that you know, and I'm not asking you to ask them to black explain, but it's most of us pretty much knew that this was going to happen at some point in time. Now, for Donald Trump, this is why black people were depressed and sad and crying when he won the election, because we all saw this coming. If you watch that video, that man was ridiculously bold in what he did, in the way he went about it. And he was bold about it because he knew nothing was going to happen. He knew he would face no consequences. And it took all of this. It took writing in all 50 states, 13 countries, to get an arrest. We might not even get a conviction. We'll know more about that, weeks and months down the road. But my hopes aren't too high for that. And to be quite honest, if that doesn't happen, you think things are bad now, you haven't seen anything yet from the people of this country and the world, who are sick of seeing good people held down for no reason.